Joining us right now is Dan Gallagher. He is Robinhood's Chief Legal Compliance and Corporate Affairs Officer. And Dan, that sounds pretty reasonable. Why have Robinhood and others gotten so upset about this proposed rule if it's really just making sure the investors' interests come first?
Well, thanks, Becky. It's great to be here with you. Yeah, it at a headline level does sound kind of reasonable, but the problem is when you read the rule, you find out it's anything but reasonable. It's a proposal that would, at the end of the day, pretty much, as Commissioner Peirce said when she dissented on the proposal, prescribe certain technologies that the government doesn't like. And AI can and should be a revolution in the provision of financial services to the retail investor. It can make things more efficient, cheaper. And from our perspective at Robinhood, technology is what obviously is in our DNA. It's what's gotten us 23 million customers. It's what allows us to provide commission-free services to customers. So for the government to come in and say, geez, technology is this big, awful thing and can hurt investors without even doing the research to determine what the uses of AI have been, to come in and say we're going to prescribe these technologies, we just think is silly. So, we're commenting vigorously.
If the rule was rewritten to do exactly what Gary Gensler just said, which is to say that the algorithm can never put anybody's interest ahead of the investor's interests, whether that be the financial advisor, whether that be the company pitching things, would that be acceptable to you?
I mean, the rule needs to be rewritten if there is to be a rule. I think, quite frankly,
if it were rewritten simply saying that, would that be acceptable? I mean, just the idea that the investor's interest should come first seems like it's not all that cringeworthy. Yeah, well,
that's the actual prevailing regulatory scheme right now, Becky. So you don't even need a rule.
So algorithms can't be written to say that say anything like the algorithm has to say that the investor's interest has to come first?
Well, the algorithms are subject to the existing rule set, Regulation BI, the fiduciary duty, the anti-fraud provisions of the securities laws. In fact, when the SEC proposed it, they cited all these cases that they've brought, pointing to the use of technology and misuse in some instances. So the existing rule set works. This thing is like a faculty lounge exercise. I mean, it really is quite silly, and I feel bad for the agency having proposed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to ask Chair Gensler, I guess, but why do you think they came up with this rule? Why did he explain it like that if the existing rule already prevents that?
I think it's a catchy thing, AI. And the funny part, Becky, is if you rewind the tape on this rule proposal, it actually started out as something called gamification, right? This notion that after the GameStop events in 2021, that the gamification of trading caused the GameStop flurry.
Well, look, let's go back to that because that is an issue. Like the gamification where there were algorithms written to kind of log you into wanting to do more and more of the betting on the stock market, the same kind of algorithms that get people interested in staying on Facebook or Instagram. I can see why that's a problem. You don't necessarily want to appeal to people's worst basis instincts like they do when they try and lock you into a casino or somewhere else. Sure. That's not a great idea when you're talking about reaching out to investors and trying to get them into the gamification of the stock market, which we did see when people were locked at home during COVID and were doing things like that. And Robinhood got accused of some of that stuff, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And wrongfully accused. And I would say, if the technology is really doing something nefarious, if it's saying one thing and doing another, if it's trying to manipulate investors' minds to do things they wouldn't otherwise, that would actually fly in the face of existing rules right now. So the notion that you need this. Now, there are going to be some market participants, not Robinhood, but, some of these newer entrants who do employ some of these things, and the agency should be looking at it.